What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Tar Sports YouTube page. We're going to be talking about the NFL 2023 playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, all predictions right here. Going to take it game by game in advance, and this is going to be my playoff predicting, Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl matchup, divisional round matchup, conference matchups, all that, and it all starts with a wild card. All right, let's get into it with the first game. This first game I'm about to get into. This is probably one of my most you see right here, I'm personally a Vikings fan. So other than them playing, this is the game I'm most anticipating because I'm most interested in it. And that is the LA Chargers and Jacksonville Jaguars, all right? Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. These are two generational quarterback talents. Justin Herbert, I was praying he got in, man. I wanted to see him versus Patrick Mahomes. I want to see him versus Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. He belongs with those guys talent-wise. But Trevor Lawrence might stop him, man. Now, in terms of being in the NFL, Justin Herbert has been a lot better. But don't forget, Trevor Lawrence has better pedigree, right? He was the first overall pick. He was being compared to Peyton Manning. A lot of crazy stuff from Trevor Lawrence, all right? And in this matchup, I think I lean to win outright. I lean Jaguars, and here's why. So, this Jacksonville Jaguars defense, it has not performed nearly as good as it should have been throughout the entire year. But these last few weeks, this defense has stepped up tremendously, getting defensive touchdowns, huge stops. And I know it was versus the Titans and Josh Jobs, I think the quarterback was, or someone like that. But the Jaguars defense, I think, is key here, especially if the Chargers don't have no Mike Williams. But I think this should be high scoring, but I think the Jaguars can force way more turnovers. They just need to protect Trevor Lawrence. I think this receiving core around Trevor Lawrence can get open, and the run game is most important here. The Chargers are one of the worst run defenses in the league, and if ETN can get going with Christian Kirk eating up the middle of the field with Evan Ingram and Zay Jones going long, I think the Jaguars can sneak by. Now, this is the game I am least bullish on. I'm 50-50, and I wouldn't even be mad if I was wrong here because I would love to see Justin Herbert move on. This team's phenomenal also. But in terms of also coaching, I think Doug Peterson has obviously won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been in the playoffs. As to where the Chargers head coach, he hasn't been that good. Would they have 10 wins? With this team, I know, granted, I know the receiving core was hurt all year and a lot of defensive players were hurt. But if you have Justin Herbert as your quarterback, I don't care who the hell the coach is. You need to have over 10 wins with Justin Herbert. He is insane. A lot of dumb play calling. Austin Eckler is going to be a huge factor in this one also. I think this is going to be a crazy offensive matchup, and now I'm not this. I could be wrong. Listen, I could be wrong, but this is just my take on the game. I'm really excited, and I think Jacksonville Jaguars can get it done at home. Next game, we're going to be talking about Baltimore Ravens going into Cincinnati. As of right now, as I'm recording this, Lamar Jackson is not scheduled to play this game. If he and Joe Burrow, his track record versus the Ravens is crazy, man. He gets like 400 passing yards every time he plays these guys. And I mean, even if Lamar was playing, I still think I would lean the Bengals at home. Crazy playoff game. Joe Burrow, we've seen it in his second year. In his first year, he tore his leg up. In his second year, he made the Super Bowl. I love Joe Burrow and the Bengals in this one. I think they win very convincingly in this one. And they gotten better from last year, right? They upgraded their offensive line, which was their biggest question. They brought back their key defensive players. This defense is good. They have a lot of offensive weapons. I like them to get the job done at home versus the Ravens. And lastly, another one I think is going to be a blowout. Another division game, Miami going into Buffalo. Last game for the AFC and Wild Card weekend. This Miami team is hurt, man. Tua's not playing. Teddy's not playing. They're starting Skylar Thompson. Skylar, if that's even his first name. I could be pronouncing it wrong. And they have the offensive weapons, but you're not winning a game with Skylar Thompson versus Josh Allen at home. This Bills defense is getting more healthy. I know they lost Von Miller, but the defense, they've lost a lot of players this season, and they're all coming back. And I think the Bills just blow them out. I think this is going to get ugly in this one. All right, now on to the NFC games. All right, This game, this might be my second most anticipated game, and it comes Monday night. Dallas going into Tampa Bay. We all know Tom Brady's track record. It's been talked about all week versus this Dallas Cowboys team. What is it? 7-0, 7-0, 8-0, 6-0, something around those lines. Undefeated versus the Cowboys. We know how Dak plays down south. He's terrible in the south, Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott, he missed some games this year, but when he's playing, he doesn't look good. He's turning the ball over. And then this Bucs team, they've been struggling all year. The NFC South is a joke of a conference, or a joke of a division this year. But man, it is playoff season, and Tom Brady is the playoff king. He is the NFL GOAT. Never count out Tom Brady. As long as Tom Brady's at home in the playoffs, I'm taking that all day. I do a guy off to who has the best players on this side. Tom Brady in the playoffs is a different animal. Give me the Buccaneers at home. And this defense, this Cowboys defense has been exposed many times. Trayvon Diggs is known to give up big plays because he's a ball hawk. So if he misses that ball, which he has a lot of times, he's going to give up a lot of plays, whether it's to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, I think may have gotten hurt, but even Julio Jones. And then they have that dynamic running back duo, playoff Lenny Fournette. And then you have the rookie Rachaad White with fresh legs. This Buccaneers team, if it can easily catch fire. If this team gets hot at the right time, they can go all the way, in my opinion. All right, next up, New York Giants going into Minnesota. Man, I can't believe how many people. Now, listen, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, so you can say I'm biased, whatever. But the amount of people that are picking the Giants to win this game blows my mind. Daniel Jones is not going on the road in a playoff game. This atmosphere is going to be insane. I don't know. Listen. This is nothing with betting. This is nothing with spreads. This is just a playoff prediction, and I think Minnesota wins this game. Now Minnesota always is in a close game, but I think Minnesota wins this game pretty convincingly too. I think they're going to come out and make a statement. Man, when it gets down to it, Kirk Cousins, he's kind of been a laughingstock. He's been a meme for the most part. But Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne's been coming alive. TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison is not a bad running back. He would start on a lot of teams. Now listen, the thing that's going to kill the Vikings in the playoffs is their defense. Their defense is atrocious. They have arguably the worst defense in the NFL. Their point differential is a mess. But they're not losing to the Giants. I can't stress this enough. They're not losing to the New York Giants. The New York Giants, they could lose this game, and they've overachieved tremendously. So give me the Minnesota Vikings at home in this one. And then lastly, Seattle Seahawks going into San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is everyone's pick to win the NFC, man. And rightfully so. This team is stacked. I don't care if Brock Purdy is no playoff experience, barely any NFL experience. What did he play? Six games, if that? Look at this team around him. Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, CMC, George Kittle. This team's crazy. And then their defense is lights out, man. This defense is crazy. This Seahawks team, they've shown signs of being a bad team. Now, I know they made the playoffs, but they have shown terrible signs. But their defensive core is very young. So they could surprise Brock a little bit, but I think Kyle Shanahan is going to get them boys right. I think this is going to be an easy game. In the games they did play versus the Seahawks, this is a division game. And the games that they have versus the Seahawks the last two times, they won pretty convincingly. And I don't see it being any different this time around. I like the 49ers to win this game and go on. All right. So now we're going into the divisional round right here. So as we know, I'm going to go back to the AFC. Kansas City Chiefs had a bye. Now with my predictions from the wild card round, it would be Jacksonville taking on Kansas City and the Chiefs. All right, and my prediction is the Chiefs stomp them. And Jacksonville, if you're a fan, you overachieved this season. All right, I know you had high hopes and all. But this Jacksonville team is not ready to compete with the Chiefs. And I could be completely wrong. Everyone said that about Cincinnati last year, so I could be completely wrong. But you have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Mecole Hardman may be coming back, Travis Kelce. This defense is a little shaky. That's where the Chiefs scare me. This defense is shaky. I will give them that. But I think they just they just have more talent around in Kansas City, and I could be wrong, and I honestly hope I'm wrong. My heart really wants the Jaguars to make the Super Bowl. So, but I again, that's my heart. Realistically, I don't. Now Jacksonville has a huge future, a bright future. They're getting Calvin Ridley already this year or next year, excuse me, and so they're going to improve tremendously. But you need to improve that team a lot. All right, Trevor Lawrence. This is his second year making the playoffs. Hats off to him. But Andy Reid and them boys are going to take care of business, especially at home. And then next up, the game we should now. I say this: the game we would have seen 2 weeks ago, and it was stopped rightfully so. All right, a human life is way more important than a football game or a football league in general. But this game, it will be decided who gets home field advantage by a coin toss. I'm pretty sure, or it might be a neutral site, whatever. But Cincinnati and versus Buffalo. I don't know how who's home, who's not, because the NFL got all messed up with that game. But this is going to be a huge game. This game, I'm so positive this game will happen. Because even if the Chargers win, they'll still verse the Chiefs. So when this game happens, the Bengals and the Bills, Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow, Stephon Diggs versus Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and these both defenses are very good. I think what it comes down to if the Bengals can protect Joe Burrow and give him enough time in this pocket. And this is going to be a hell of a game. I think Buffalo has the better defense. Offense, I think Cincinnati honestly does have a better offense. And that might sound a little crazy, but Joe Burrow is a straight killer. Not that Josh Allen isn't, but at the end of the day, listen, in sports, there's winners and there's losers. And time again, Josh Allen has consistently found himself losing big playoff games. All right, whether it's to Patrick Mahomes or who I think it was to Patrick Mahomes both times. I could be completely wrong. I forget. But last year, whether it's to Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow is a proven winner. All right, he proved it at LSU. He came into the NFL tours leg, comes back second year, first full season, and goes to the damn Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, and he did nothing but improve. Give me Joe Burrow and the boys versus the Bengals. I really think this is Cincinnati's year, and I think they're going to beat the Bengals. Next up for the divisional round in the NFC, as we all know, the Eagles had the bye, and then they would be playing at home versus Tampa Bay. Now Tom Brady going on the road, it's a lot different than him playing at home. Now we look at the matchups. The Eagles' defense is a lot better, or has played a lot better. The Eagles' offense has been more in sync, but it's playoff time. It's playoff time. They have an unproven coach in the playoffs. They have Jalen Hurts, who has been playing hurt. He looked hurt versus the Giants. There was a play where when he ran the ball, it was a quarterback design run. And I know it's week 18 and they're just trying to stay healthy, but there was a play where he just fell. He dropped down. He gave himself up. He didn't even slide. And the past Jalen Hurts would have either tried to juke him out or run him over, bulldoze his way in with his strong-ass legs. But Jalen Hurts may not be 100%. This Eagles offensive line's getting banged up. And the Buccaneers, they're hurt. They're missing a lot of offensive linemen, but Tom Brady in the playoffs, it's so hard to go against them. And with this unproven Eagles playoff team, listen, man, Hurts. It's a rematch from last year when the Bucs stomped them, and a lot of people may think the Eagles stomped the Bucs, but I think I'm slightly leaning the Bucs right here in this matchup. All right, we have an unproven quarterback, unproven coach versus, I know Bucs don't really have a proven coach either, but they have Tom Brady. That's all they really need, especially with these offensive weapons. And I know these corners on the Eagles, these D-backs on the Eagles have been shut down all year long. But now we're talking about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I already named them in the past matchup. He has too many weapons, all right? And Brady's going to find a way to get it done, I promise you. I like the Bucs to beat the Eagles in a huge upset. And I don't know how much of a huge upset it actually would be, because it's Tom Brady in the playoffs, but from what we've seen so far this year, I think this would be a huge upset, and I do think it will happen. I like the Buccaneers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And then next up, we would have Minnesota going into San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan versus Kevin O'Connell. This is going to be a lot better than I think people expect. I think this Vikings offense can score on anyone with the best of them. But this 49ers team's just too well rounded. I don't care if they have a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy. He has proven time and time again. He's been making killer plays. He turns the ball over a little bit, but this offense is so is so quarterback friendly. And I think this defense can rattle Kirk Cousins. As a Vikings fan, I've seen Kirk Cousins crumble under pressure time and time again. And I think it can easily happen in this one. I like the 49ers to win at home versus the Vikings. And I pray to God I'm wrong, but that's just how I say it. Next up, so that would be the divisional round. Then we have the championship round. And with the AFC so far, with my predictions, as you can see here, I have Cincinnati taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in a huge rematch. And Joe Burrow has their number. He has Patrick Mahomes' number. He has Andy Reid's number. He is undefeated versus the Chiefs. And I think it stays that way, man. This offense has too many weapons. I know Patrick Mahomes is a once-in-a-generation talent. And he has Travis Kelce. He has Juju Smith-Schuster. He has a decent run game in Isaiah Pacheco. And he has that pass-catching back in Jarrett McKinnon that fits this offense so perfect. But the Cincinnati Bengals have the offense to match the Kansas City Chiefs, which is kind of crazy to say. I do think Andy Reid's a lot better coach than Zach Taylor, but I just think Cincinnati gets it done. I think Cincinnati has the way better I think Cincinnati's defense is a lot better than the Chiefs, and I think they can match them on offense with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine. They have guys on guys on guys in this Cincinnati offense, and Joe Burrow can get it done. He's already proven it. He's beaten them, he's 3-0 against the Chiefs in his career, and I think it goes on to 4-0. Now, the NFC matchup, it would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going in the San Francisco 49ers, and just like last year, I think this is when Tom Brady's playoff run ends, and I think he'll be so mad, and this is his setup to leave Tampa Bay when the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan get Tom Brady out of here. I think the 49ers are just too well-rounded, all right? I know they probably have arguably the worst starting quarterback in the playoffs in Brock Purdy, and I'm not shitting on Brock Purdy. I'm not trying to knock him down, but he's played 6 games. He hasn't really proven anything. But this offense is so quarterback friendly, so many weapons, and this defense is killing, man. 49ers defense is insane. They're ever since they got fully healthy, Armstead, ever since he came back, he's been killing it. And I just think the 49ers get it done. So that leaves the Super Bowl, and I think it is a Cincinnati versus 49ers Super Bowl. I'd forget where it's at, excuse me. But this is my Super Bowl prediction, my Super Bowl matchup prediction. Cincinnati taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, and you look at these two teams, I think the 49ers have the better coaching staff. I think a lot of people would agree with me. I think the 49ers have the better defense, although I think Cincinnati's defense is very underrated and one of the better defenses in the league. But I do give that 49ers defense and that defensive scheme by, I'm pretty sure defensive coordinator is DeMarco Ryan. But I think they're just a lot better on defense. But I think Joe Burrow can score on anyone. I think the Cincinnati offense can score on anyone. And I think that the key to this offense is everyone just staying healthy. T. Higgins has been banged up. Jamar Chase has been banged up. Joe Burrow gets knocked around a few times. But I think this Cincinnati team is going to win the Super Bowl. I really do. They have a killer defense. Joe Burrow at quarterback with amazing offensive weapons. I think this is Cincinnati's year. Joe Burrow will win the goddamn Super Bowl this year. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Tarp Sports, Cincinnati taking on 49ers, and it's going to be a Cincinnati Joe Burrow. All right, he's coming in ice cold because Joe Burrow's a winner. He proved it at LSU, and he's proved it last year in his second year coming off a goddamn ACL, MCL injury, whatever the hell it was, going to the Super Bowl when no one predicted it. This year, they're one of the favorites, and I think they are the favorite. Vegas doesn't have them as the favorite, but Tar Sports, Cincinnati Super Bowl, lock it in, all right? I'm sprinkling in that future bet right now. Cincinnati, I think they win this game, and I think it's Joe Burrow, MVP, man. I think they're just too well built. They got better from last year. Everyone thought they would have a Super Bowl hangover. I said it. If you follow me from on Twitter and TikTok, whatever, I said it. I said this team has gotten better. They brought everyone back. They got more pieces on the offensive line. I think they win the Super Bowl this year. That's your Super Bowl prediction. If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. Like it up, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who is your Super Bowl winner? Let me know. Tarp Sports, don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to put out a podcast for best bets. That will be in the link somewhere. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.